Peter Finnan here from Irish Golfer, and we've popped down to Concept Golf again with Mark O'Mahony. How are you?
Very good, thanks.
We're here to look at Taylormade for 2024 with the new Qi10 lineup. So, pretty interesting lineup of clubs for this year.
Yeah, really good in a sense that whilst you have a company that releases drivers year on year, I think this is actually a really interesting model in a sense of they've so much tech now to bring to the market, and they've done just that. So it's really intriguing, and there's a different storyline with each head.
Yeah, there's a lot of shared technology between the three heads. Obviously, Taylormade sticking with that carbon face. The red is gone. It's now a sort of a navy blue look on that. They have made a lot of changes. There were some issues around carbon faces last year. I know a lot, like there was a drop off in sales with Taylormade products sort of second half of the year and stuff like that. They've really looked to tidy up a lot of the, I'm not going to say mistakes they made last year, but different things that didn't work out quite so well.
Yeah, like when you look at the likes of Taylormade, you look at a product that's going to offer a lot in energy, i.e. distance, and whilst they've gone for the carbon story now to fulfill stability and consistency, like the Stealth 2 did try and offer forgiveness, and it didn't fully deliver, which now kind of has this QI into a place that is really intriguing because there is a lot of performance in all three heads, it's quite an inviting product now.
Yeah, and looking at how they shape into different profiles, different shapes, they're all 460cc head. How the face is sort of structured, how it's bonded, how the feel of it. It's one thing I always found with both Stealth and Stealth 2. I was getting really good ball speeds when I buttoned it out of middle. Yeah. I was losing a little on off-centre hits. This just feels so much softer to me. As a carbon face, it feels so much softer, which it was more of a feel that I was familiar with.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that a lot of players through fitting in Stealth Gen 1 and Stealth 2, there's no question they were kind of finding it hard to understand where they were striking on the club face. The acoustics were vastly different. So yeah, with that kind of face technology that they still have in that 60 layer carbon face, it's coming more from the chassis and the crown technology that they've applied to this Qi10 range that now offers better sound, better feel and feedback, and it just, as I said, it just tells a whole different story.
Yeah, and the fingerprint of like past Taylormade product, you can see stamped throughout this, like there's little bits of SLDR, there's little bits of sim with the shaping, there's the speed pocket that's there. So much familiar Taylormade technology. I suppose let's look at each head individually and see what we get, what player there suits each head and what we get. Right, so first things first, looking at the three heads, we're going to look at the Qi10 Max. Now, the big story with Qi10 Max is that MOI, the forgiveness. They've reached 10,000 MOI points. It's just how the club twists on off-centre hits, that's what it is. Broken down in its most simplest form without boring everyone to tears. But yeah, we're going to get Mark to hit a couple on this and really talk through what you feel about this.
Yeah, no problem. I think initially the aesthetics, yes, it's an elongated kind of head. So from kind of face to backside of the club, it is that little bit more inviting. It does inspire a bit of confidence. I think what's really cool with every Qi10 head is the top line. There's massive kind of separation between the crown line and the face now. Kind of really kind of captures where the face is. And that kind of definitely inspires even more confidence.
Yeah, one thing I really liked when I was looking down, if you address that ball as well, is the score lines on the face and how the blue and the crown interact, the infinity crown that Taylormade are calling it, that run across, like the amount of carbon fibre that is now in that crown. I think they're up to 97% carbon crown on this from 72% last year. Like it is, and the weight that they've saved from that, what they've done with it, moved it back and weighted it further back to really improve that forgiveness. And yeah, hit one and let's see what you think.
Yeah, 100%. not a bad drive, bit high in the face, but I think again within this kind of Max storyline that we're kind of all getting now and kind of looking into as we kind of perform with these drivers is, yes, you're spreading the forgiveness within the club head, and as you do that, you in essence should be starting to hit a lot straighter, less curvature and ball flight, but you are likely to lose a little bit of ball speed, and that kind of comes into that situation where getting fitted, you kind of have that discussion and you weigh up your kind of options relative to what you're looking for, and everyone is different. It's just the cool thing about this family of heads and storyline they're now creating with Max is it's a forgiveness offering.
So it is one criticism that people will always have of yearly cycles in Driver. Oh, it's just the same as last year. It's packaged different color. Like, they have changed so much about this head. Like, Taylormade have never made a product like this.
No, and again, to reiterate a key point, they have put a lot of generational product into this, and there is no question they have really, in my opinion, they've brought it to another level in the aesthetics side of things, where they're not just again boistering the look and the advertising side of the promotional side of things. This is a different animal.
Yeah, and it's not to be drawn into with the Max product as well. It's not to get drawn into that it's bracketed for a specific type of player. We've already seen this in the bag of Colin Morikawa this year.
And that's the curveball it throws. You know, it's kind of it's open to everyone. You know, and you can't categorize golfers, in my opinion, into specific heads, and that's all it's suited for. Again, already with the family of Qi10s that we're fitting here, is we're seeing LS actually work for someone who might play off 10, 11. Yeah. You know, so it's all relative to that individual and what they're doing, which I think more than ever with these heads and lineup, it really reiterates that fitting and getting fitted is crucial here, because it's not just, oh, I need forgiveness, I'll go Max. It could tell a different story for what is optimal for that player.
Right, so moving into the Qi10 head away from the Max then, there are subtle differences in these. Weight configuration is different, the back weighting system is different, the whole undercarriage shape of these are different. Like we said, the three heads are all 460cc, but they are so different looking down on them, what they look like, what they perform like. So talk to me a little bit about Qi10.
Qi10 is going to be their more appealing driver initially. While in a fitting we may start with the Max head, we will naturally try and optimize one's performance, finding that in the Qi10. As we kind of see with the Qi10, it holds a lot more traditional look. Definitely aesthetically, as we look down at the ball, there's a little bit more of a teardrop look about it. Head's not as elongated, and definitely, as Pete has said, the weighting system is ever so slightly. It's not a movable weight, but from the Max head, it's not as kind of towards the heel. And that's quite interesting with the type of player you might be dealing with within that fitting.
It's not as draw bias as well as the Max. Like, it's one thing to note this year throughout the three heads, like Taylormade have got rid of that D-type model. Yeah. Because there are so many fitting options in these now, with hosel adjustments, with these weight ports here close to the heel of both. You can just manipulate so much, so there's no need for a high draw branded product as such.
Yeah, and like both weight ports are in different locations, both on the Max and the 10. But also as well, the location is quite important for these weights, because when you have a player who's moving the club a little bit left, you need to manage that weight position. So by having the weight in the heel ultimately complements where that player is naturally going to strike it towards the heel. So that there moves the mass energy towards kind of that strike location, offering stability, offering consistency of flight. And that's kind of the separation between someone going into a Max or someone going into the 10.
Okay, we might as well, you hit a few of these now and we'll see how it goes. When you address this as well, it's a
classic look, yeah, straight away. Like, and I think, like, again, from other prior products Taylormade would have released, that kind of teardrop head wouldn't have been really something you'd look at. I think they got close to it with Sim, but they've really hit it out of the park with this. I love how from the back edge of the club falls back towards the kind of the hosel, and then just that top line again complements kind of where that club face is, and just gives confidence as to where you want to strike it.
It's so simple as well. It's
Very.
just seamless from back to front. There's no distractions. It's just that little T-bug, and it gives you a perfect sight line going down onto the face.
100%. Just a little thing for me, it does look a little bit kind of upright, which is again a given thing with this lineup and driver. But that's again something that will favour a golfer who wants to kind of manage.
It's a positive for most golfers.
100%.
For you as a pro, it's a bit.
It's very different, but again, some pros like that.
Yeah.
So let's see what it's like. Definitely came out lower. Again, didn't move as much. Kind of would have thought that would have had a lot more shift on it. I did catch it a little bit towards the heel. So again, for me, I would have felt ultimately it go the opposite way, but it didn't. So in the main, just as a golfer, as a player, the lie angle will be just that little bit kind of different for someone like myself. But as a whole product, it's really kind of inspiring for golfers to work into and know that they're getting the best and best of both worlds in the capacity of forgiveness off the face, but also having that opportunity to maximize their performance.
That miss there as well, like you maintained really good ball speed off that miss. It's like your twist face kicked in a little bit on that, that would your bulge and roll effect. But what they've done with inverted cone in behind this as well, you were saying that was a toe miss. They've kind of eked out little patches in behind that face that you can't see as well. So they've just maintained speed across the face with the product. Yeah,
and like naturally in fittings or in when we play, we're going to hit a shot, we're going to kind of relate in some way to where we struck it on the club face and then make an adjustment. So within fittings, the cool thing now is that if we're not seeing a ball curve as much through the data, well then we're not going to make as many compensations. And that's going to give it a more thorough and true reflection of where that player can get to in all elements of driver performance. So that's the cool thing as to what this storyline is telling, and what golfers will start to see within fittings in going and doing it. Right, last in the line of three heads with Taylormade is the Qi10 LS. This is more of your accomplished players club. It is definitely for your faster swinger, more swing speed in that. There is an 18-gram movable weight. It's the only one of the three heads with movable weight on that. So it really separates it out from how you can optimize performance and spin and speed off the face. Talk to me a little bit about LS and what you're feeling from this. Yes, so like as we have discussed what the Max offers, this is on the complete other side of the spectrum. As that CG weight moves closer to the face, you're maximizing, optimizing your ball speed. While you do that, you are going to create a little bit more twist within the club head, and then that in a way for maybe a more skilled golfer will offer a little bit more performance. So this is a really cool product in the capacity that you could get a player who's quite efficient, and then just looking for a little bit more energy off the club face, retention of ball speed a little bit more, a little bit better, and it could just work for that individual. And I wouldn't, within reason, handicap limit wise as a marker, it would be more for someone kind of 12 and below, in that sense that that player is accomplished in kind of driver consistency. As we look aesthetically at the club, it is super kind of traditional. Again, product line wise that I haven't seen in a long time from Taylormade. And overall, it just really is, it packs a big punch. This is the big game changer for me with what 10K is offering.
Okay, right, go on, you hit one here and let's see what you...
Like this product just doesn't spin. Like I'm usually anything between 8.5 to 9, and I've got this already set to 9.75, and I'll probably have to go to 10.5. And I wouldn't be surprised if people see that within fits. So the interesting thing though, as I move the loft up, I'm not seeing a lot of the face. So I think Taylormade have really complemented the face color with kind of the integration with the line and with the crown. Again, as you've already said, with that infinity kind of look, it's really, really inviting.
You looking down on this sits up, I think it's 2 degrees flatter as well,
Yeah.
so it's the shaft is coming out at a different angle than the other 2 heads. It's a smaller footprint. It's a more pear-shaped look down.
Yeah.
It's everything you love.
Yeah, exactly. So like, just so people can understand, is that when we look at, let's say, all of the heads being 460, the footprint Pete is talking about is from what we see from toe or from face to back end. The interesting thing about LS is that while still retaining a 460cc, it's quite a deeper look.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing here. Another key thing as well is that, as you're rightly saying, it's a flatter look, but if I'm going higher in loft, am I not kind of playing around too much with that? It doesn't kind of offer that massive change. It doesn't show me that there's a lot of kind of tilt to the left, as that's what would happen when you increase the loft. So it's a really kind of inviting product. Let me hit it. And it's exactly that. It's 2 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour more ball speed, and then I've increased just on my average today from 283 carry to 289. It gives us that. So an efficient driver to golf ball has everything to gain from LS.
That's something that's gone straight in your bag, isn't it?
Yeah, all day. I'm just gonna have a bit of fun with this.
It's the optimization though that separates this out as well. If you're fitting other players in, what it gives you as a fitter, the chance to optimize everything from your draw, fade, bias, to the back weight port, stuff like that. Like, you can really mess with this one.
Most definitely. Probably the most important thing with this LS driver when fitting is going to be managing spin. Because you're going to take a lot off straight away because of what the properties offer within the product, it's crucial that you don't give a golfer too low a spin, because that's equally as punishing as too much spin. So it is a balancing act, which is again the importance of getting fitted and kind of making sure you're optimizing your product for you. But hands down, if I'm getting a player in and they're kind of giving me feedback where they feel they're spinning it too much, hitting it high, if they're kind of coming across where they're comfortable with a traditional pear-shaped look, it's going straight into their hands.
Yeah, and they're going to notice the speed, they're going to notice the feel, they're going to notice everything from it.
Exactly, and again, within a fitting story, if you go from Max then into LS, it makes for just a very enjoyable experience for golfers at all levels.
Right, so there we have it. That's pretty much everything you're going to need to know about Qi10. Broken into the 3 heads. You have your Max, you have your Qi10, and you have your LS, all optimized for total different players. There is a lot of overlap in between, so don't be thinking that just because you're a high handicap player you automatically go for a Max. There are so many options to be unlocked, getting the right fit and getting the right feel for this product. You really got to get out and get a fit for these. Like Mark said earlier on in the video, to really unlock the potential in behind this driver, a custom fit is totally necessary. And if we look down on these 3 heads, look at this, they're like all 460cc, but total different shapes, total different feels. So you really got to get fit. So there you have it, Qi10 for Taylormade for 2024.